I'm here. I'm just putting a mic on. Okay. That'll do. Okay, let's have a look. Alright, I'm going to put you live. Okay, let's have a look. Just want to check to make sure I am live. Let's have a quick look. Yes. Alright, awesome. That's good. Hello everyone. Is that Barbara from... We might be seeing... Barrow, we might be seeing Barbara, the hedgehog that you dropped off, if you're the same Barbara. Okay, let's get started. Right, this is... Right, put this on here. Right, hopefully you can see me if I stand here. Hopefully. I hope all this works out all right. This is a lot more complicated and technical than I have ever done a live stream. I'm trying to show you as much as possible, so I've used loads of cameras. So there is a delay. The live stream, the actual live feed is actually the camera on my head, which has got about a 5-second delay. So the other cameras, you'll see cameras swapping, and those cameras are probably real time, but the one on my head is going to have a slight delay, 5-second, 10-second delay. So it might be a bit odd when I'm changing some of the cameras. But yeah, it took me a long time to figure all this out, so I hope it all works. It's a lovely day, so I don't expect too many people to be watching this, but it will be recorded, so you can watch it afterwards. If you can like, subscribe, we've got YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that lot. It'll be fantastic. Also, if you want to comment and stuff like that, you have to actually follow. It won't let you interact, I think, unless you follow and things like that. So yeah, so let's get started. SUSFest 2021, that's what this is for, really. This is Hornbeam Wood Hedgehog Sanctuary, and I'm Martin. So what we're going to be talking about today is helping hedgehogs. So I'm going to talk about what we do to help hedgehogs, and also what you can do if you find a hedgehog that is in need of help. So we're going to be meeting 2 hedgehogs today. One of them is Horus, and the other one is Barra. So yeah, Horus and Barra. We're going to meet Horus first. But before I do that, very quickly, I just want to talk about hedgehog rescues. So if you find a hedgehog in need of help, there's a few reasons why you might want to help a hedgehog. Generally speaking, if they're out during the day, unless you see a hedgehog with purpose, walking in a straight line, maybe with leaves in its mouth or bedding in its mouth, generally speaking, they're mums, so leave them be. But most other hedgehogs out during the day will probably need a rescue. If you see blood on them, if you see them limping, if you see there's issues with their eyes, flies buzzing on them, if you hear them coughing, if you find them in a dangerous place, or trapped, for example, all those reasons are good reasons to rescue a hedgehog. And once you've found a hedgehog like that needs rescuing, you need to find a rescue centre like us, or you can take to a local vets. If you don't know a local rescue centre, call the British Hedgehog Preservation Society, and they'll put you in contact with a local rescue centre. There's about 600, 650 throughout the whole of the UK. We're one of them. So yeah, so when you find a hedgehog, also you need to put them into a cardboard box with some towels, ideally, clean old towels or something to snuggle up to. Then put that box in a quiet place out of the way until you get help for it. Depending on the injury, what's wrong with the hedgehog, you normally have a little bit of time, but urgency, generally speaking, is one of the main factors for a hedgehog survival, getting them to help, basically. Ideally, if you've got a carrier as well, here, let me change the camera. Let's get rid of that. If you've got a carrier like these are fantastic. These carriers are what we use for rescuing hedgehogs. These are old ones. This one's recently donated, actually. 40 years old, this one. It's brilliant, actually, though. It's got a little trapdoor at the back, so it's really good for rescues. But yeah, a carrier like that with some towels in it, they're ideal, obviously, but a cardboard box is also good as well. Right, okay, so let's wander in here. I'm going to show you Horus, who I'm going to weigh. Let's put back to the hutches. So Horus came in from Helton Regis a week or two ago, I can't remember. Came in, I saw a video of the lady that rescued the hedgehog, called us in, dropped it off to us. It came in with an issue with the leg. Initially, could have been quite bad, but went to the vets. Vets couldn't find anything wrong with it because, generally speaking, when they've got leg injuries and they need to be gassed down or sedated so you can actually see what's going on with the legs, or x-rayed. But came back with nothing wrong with the leg, so it was an injury, probably a ligament injury or something like that. So we've been looking after Horus, and I've actually had Horus in a hutch, rehabilitation hutch, that I can keep an eye on, so it's got cameras in it. And you'll see that hutch in a minute. And I put hedgehogs in hutches with cameras in it just so I can keep an eye on them. Because generally speaking, they won't do hedgehoggy things when there's people about. But if there's a camera in there, I can see what's going on, especially with leg injuries and things like that. So yeah, let's quickly meet Horus. I'll weigh Horus, then we'll put Horus back, because I just need to weigh, all I need to do is weigh him really. But we're going to have a quick look at Horus. So I'll put it back in the camera. Okay. Here we go. So Horus is very big. Actually, so the video that I saw of Horus, it was definitely limping. It had an issue with his leg. But since then, I have been monitoring, and Horus has been getting better. So the injury, I'm assuming, is healing quite nicely. So Horus is a very big, smelly hedgehog, to be honest with you. And he's got a bit of poo on him as well. Lovely. So this is Horus. I hope you can see. I don't know if the camera is pointed at him or not, but he's quite placid. He's a big old boy. So generally, oh, that's a beep. So hedgehogs don't like noises, beeps and things like that, or loud clapping noises, anything like that. I'm going to turn Horus on his back just for temporarily. So actually, if you look at him, he's a very healthy hedgehog. Nice round shape as well. I'll give him a quick weigh, just so I know. 901 grams. It's a good weight, really good weight for a hedgehog. So yeah, I'm assuming another few days, maybe next week, Horus will be good to be released back into the wild, and we'll be going back to hopefully where Horus came from. I don't know, I haven't actually spoken to the person who rescued Horus, but I do know one of the vets that helps us actually lives there, so I'm hoping, I haven't asked her yet, that she can take Horus back to that area, and then Horus can be collected from there. So that's little Horus, or big Horus. So I'm going to put him back into his in his hutch actually. I've just given him some food and things like that. Let's do this. Let's put this on here. Okay. Oh, so there's lots of hutches out here. There's about 40, I think, outside. These rehabilitation hutches are for hedgehogs recovering. So they've had injuries or been to the vets, but their injuries are healed up. It's not as hygienic. We will see the hospital in a minute. It's not as hygienic as the hospital, but it's perfectly fine for hedgehogs without any open wounds and things like that. So yeah, and at the moment, I think there's about 30-ish hedgehogs here. We've got a few in the hospital now. We had quite a few releases last night. So yeah, they're all various states, but all due to be released back into the wild. Right, let's put this camera back on. Again, you might see the delay. I hope we're still live. I should probably check actually, shouldn't I? Let's have a quick look. Yeah, we're still live. Okay, we've got 11 people. I'm surprised 11 people are watching. It's such a nice day. Okay, right. Let's put Horus back in here. So this is actually I can put there is a camera in here, so I will put you inside this hutch as a camera. There you go. So this hutch is one of, I've got 4 actually, that have cameras at the top there, and I just have them there to watch and monitor the hedgehogs. But I also do sometimes live stream on Facebook, YouTube and all the rest of it. So like and subscribe, and then wherever I go live you will see you will see the hedgehogs, but they're normally not active during the day. It's normally at night, so it tends to be about 10 o'clock when I do turn these on and have a live stream for a few hours, maybe 4 hours, sometimes 12 hours, but normally like 4 hours or something like that. So let's just put Horus back in here. Right, there you go, Horus, with a nice big poo on you as well. Straight in his house. Straight into. So inside these hutches, we've got we use straw, hay, dried material for. This out here is not much purpose apart from the pee and wee on it, but they do drag in this into this nesting box, which is where Horus has gone, and that's where they sleep. Water bowl, wet food, jelly-based dog or cat food. They love that, and dried hedgehog food or dried cat biscuits as well. It's a choice. You don't need both, but sometimes they are fussy hedgehogs and sometimes they will eat both of them because they're really hungry. So I tend to put on both unless I know they're definitely not going to eat one or the other. Okay, let's go back to the camera. There we go. So that's Horus. Now, let's move on to the hospital. So hopefully... let's have a look here. Hopefully, I've got 2 hedgehogs in there that I want to... Actually, I probably will only look at one, actually. I don't know how much time... This battery, the problem I've got is this battery in this camera won't last too long. So we'll definitely look at one of them. So this is that shed here, the supermarket. That's where all the food stores, basically. This is all Hogs B&B out here. This is where all the rehabilitation hutches are. And we're going to be heading over to another pen where there's the Hogs Hospital. So... let's do that. I'm going to be going through a gate in a minute. Let's move this on here. And the connection might drop. So it's just because there's 6-foot fencing around here and it's quite awkward for the signal. But yeah, so let's walk around here. I've got another camera here so you can see me. This is how fancy I am, you see. I put a lot of time and effort into this and changing the cameras and stuff for this stream, I'll tell you. It might cut out here. Okay, you might have lost a little bit of connection there, but we should still be back again. We're heading past. So there's another pen here. It's actually 5 other pens here. Come on, Fern. Come on. Wood chipping's down here, eventually. Well, actually, hopefully, maybe the scouts are going to help me. If they do, it'd be fantastic. So there's lots of things the scouts help with in the sanctuary. A lot of them hedgehog houses, the hutches. A lot of them being made by scouts or refurbished by them. So yeah, it's fantastic. So what I'll do is put you on the Hogs Hospital cam, so you can see me there. So we're going to go into the Hogs Hospital. It's a big shed, and inside there we've got a few hedgehogs that have recently come back from vets, and it's the place that I generally keep the more intensive care hedgehogs and also hoglets as well. Not the pinkies that often, but the hoglets themselves. It's a lot more cleaner in here, a lot more sanitised, and there's heating or cooling in here as well, so I control the temperature. And it's all insulated, it's really nice. But there are some hutches outside. Let's put it back to here. And this is Hogs House. These are purely used for releasing hedgehogs. So when I have hedgehogs to release, and I normally release them in batches, like a few at a time. And I keep them temporarily in here for one night, just prior to release. But before that, they will go in a soft release pen for a few days to make sure they're doing all the hedgehoggery things. So this is the Hogs Hospital. So let's go in here. Okay. I'll put the phone down there. So let's put the light on. There we go. And And in here we've got lots of things that have been, I'll be honest with you, most of the things in here, there's one very kind lady called Frances, and she has fundraised for many years for us, and a lot of the things you see in here, especially more expensive items, have been purchased through her for making little hedgehog nits. So Frances, thank you so much. Especially like the sink and this prep table. There's a fridge there. The fridge is way too big, but it's really good. Originally, I wanted a smaller fridge. It's for medication that's open, basically, so it lasts a bit longer. But I can keep cans of Coke in there. we were actually going to get a smaller fridge, but unfortunately we had issues. But yeah, and then these are incubators over here, mainly used for baby hoglets. But I also use these particularly in the winter. Hedgehogs we get that are just super cold, really weak, emaciated. These are really good for bringing the core temperature of hedgehogs back to sort of a reasonable temperature. Tends to be hypothermic hedgehogs that benefit the most from these, but also injured hedgehogs do as well. There's two types. There's a mains vault one, which is a bigger one, and there's these smaller ones. It's big enough for it's just temporary, big enough for any hedgehog temporarily, but obviously the bigger one, if it's a prolonged time, is better for the adult hedgehogs. Various tubs in here. I don't use this so much, to be honest with you. This is a defibrillator, and this is for pumping medication into a tub. There's vents in the tub that allows us to give medication to hedgehogs through the lungs. All the towels up there we use all the time. All these tubs here, a few of them have hedgehogs in that are recovering, and we've got one hedgehog here that we will be looking at now. What else is in here? Food, cleaning products, everything else, medication, blah blah blah. So anyway, let's have a look at, this is Barra from Barbara. So very recently rescued, and so Barra's had a bit of an experience. There were some nasty photos initially. So it had a leg injury, really bad, and Barra was taken to Pets for Vets, I think in Dunstable. Correct me if I'm wrong if you're watching, Barbara. I think it was them, and they did an amazing job. They had to amputate, unfortunately they had to amputate the leg of Barra, but Barra has made a really good recovery. This is Barra. So a very healthy, eating really well. I'm still keeping an eye, so I don't know if I can show you the actual leg, or whether you better see it, probably not. But yeah, there is no leg there. But yeah, so he's healed up really well, doing all hedgehoggery things as well. So yeah, that's Barra, a nice healthy big plump hedgehog. And how much does Barra weigh now? Let's have a look. 830 grams, so that's good. Yeah, so Barra will be with us for a little while. It's mainly because I want to make sure the wound's all healed up, carries on eating well, and make sure that Barra is able to feed by foraging with the front legs perfectly happily and making nests. So Barra will be spending time in one of the soft release pens shortly, so I can keep an eye on Barra there to make sure that Barra's doing hedgehoggery things, and if everything goes well, Barra will be released back into the wild. So I'll temporarily put, Barra lives in one of these hutches, this one here actually, but I'll temporarily put Barra here, and then we'll move you into the tub in a bit. So that's Barra. There are a few other hedgehogs in here. So we had quite a few rescues recently of leg injuries, lots actually. Also, we've had some hedgehogs with snotty noses and things like that, and coughs, worms and things like that. So we're treating them. They start off in here, and as things get better, they move over into the rehabilitation hutches over there that you saw, and then from there they'll go into a soft release pen, and then from release pen into here and released back into the wild. So right, let's go back out here. Oh, there's all these. So as far as awareness goes, if you want, if you work for a community group, school, some any councils, you can get lots of free awareness posters from the British Hedgehog Preservation Society. I put them up everywhere, but there's loads of posters here telling you what to do and what not to do for hedgehogs. like don't feed them milk. Obviously rubbish is very bad for them. Bonfires and all the rest of it. Dogs can be occasionally, but yeah, putting little holes in fences is also good for hedgehogs, so they can travel through gardens. Creating feeding stations, yeah, there's a whole raft of information you can get from them for free if you want to go and contact them to get little posters. We have a few. If you go to our website, click on awareness, scroll down to downloads, there's a whole load there as well that you can download digitally and print off. Right, let's go out here. Okay, so I'm just conscious of the time, not for any other reason than the battery, but hopefully we've still got a little time left. Yeah, we're right. Okay, good. Yep, we're still live as well. Hello, Barbara. If you've got questions and things like that, and you want to answer the questions, post them in the chat, and then I'll have a look at them. Maybe not right now, but at the end of the stream, I'll definitely have a look at them and answer any questions that you have towards the end. So very briefly, if you there's a few things to look out for in your garden for hedgehogs. Predominantly traps, not obvious traps, but things like holes in the ground. Watch holes in the ground because hedgehogs will fall in those, and if they're stuck in there for a long time, they will dehydrate and become emaciated with no food as well. If you do have holes, put a cover over them. So let me get out here. So this is an example, that's all. It doesn't do anything, but I showed the kids when they come up here. So that's a hole that a hedgehog can get trapped in. Put something over the top of it with something heavy like that, and that will make sure that the hedgehog hedgehogs don't fall down into any traps like that. As far as feeding hedgehogs go, you can feed them straight out in your garden with a shallow bowl of dog or cat food, which is fantastic, or hedgehog food, or you can make a feeding station. So let's have a look down here. I'll show you a feeding station. So feeding stations are to feed hedgehogs and not the local cats, foxes or dogs, and it's just basically a tub with a hole in it. So here is an example, obviously on the ground, not on a table like this. This is just an example, but yeah, you cut a 13 centimetre hole. If it's sharp, put tape around it. 30 centimetre hole, put a shallow bowl inside it with the food in on the ground, and that will allow the hedgehog to go in there. Put something heavy on top to make sure nothing opens up the top of the tub, and that will allow the hedgehogs to feed there, but not the cats or the dogs and things like that. You can put jelly-based dog and cat food in there, but I would recommend hedgehog food because it just lasts longer. It doesn't attract flies. With the jelly-based dog or cat food, you end up having to change the bowl every day. If the cats are clever, which they can be, you can also make, this was given to me actually, a cat complicator, and all it is a tunnel, and it's got a hole in both sides, a hole here about 13 centimetres, and then a hole in the other side about 13 centimetres, and then you put that in front of the feeding station like so, and that will allow the hedgehog to go in there, put some weight on there obviously as well, and the hedgehog to go in there, but definitely stop the cats, anything else trying to get their claws in there. So they're really good. Hedgehog houses as well. Hedgehog houses can be made out of just about anything, to be honest with you. You can make them yourself, like this one here made out of old decking. The most important thing about a hedgehog house is obviously the size of the tunnel. The actual size of the hedgehog house isn't that important, but obviously it doesn't want to be tiny. This is a good size. Anything too big becomes hard for them to insulate. Another important factor is the tunnel. When a hedgehog goes in, you need to really have a tunnel going into the hedgehog house, or a tunnel coming out, whatever, that allows the hedgehog to go in there and stops other mammals trying to get in there as well, larger mammals. And also make sure that they are watertight. It's a good idea to have an ability to open them up, to clean them out once a year is good enough. You can do it a few more times if you want to. around about September time is a good time of the year to clean hedgehog houses. Don't use any harsh chemicals, but yeah, give them a spray with some water. Also put some dried bedding back in there a little bit, and then keep some dried bedding near it so the hedgehog can drag that bedding in there to make a nest. If you find that you have a hedgehog house and it has a hedgehog in it, or you know it does, then please don't disturb it. Leave it be. Don't clean it. Leave it alone. If you're not entirely sure whether there is a hedgehog house in your hedgehog house, put something at the front here, like leaves, nesting material in the front entrance. If that's been disturbed, that's a good indication there's a hedgehog in there. Or set up a little camera trap to monitor the hedgehog house. So that's that. Right. Let's go over here. So I just want to show you another area. Fern. That's what I'm planning to do this year. So there's a few projects I've got on for the hedgehogs, and one of them is hedgehog gardens. So we do have hedgehogs, unfortunately, that come in with injuries that are severe, and often the ones where their eyes are damaged or have had bad infections lead them to become blind, and when they're blind, this is going to be the Hogs Hotel. When they're blind, they can't be released back into the wild, mainly because they're out all the time, during the day, night, a whole lot. And also because they can't see where they're going, they're prone to getting stuck in things, falling into things, and all the rest of it. So what we want to do is create a nice hedgehog garden, well actually 8 in total, for blind hedgehogs that we receive, so give them a semi-wild habitat life in the wild, but in an area that is safe for them. So this whole pen here, it's a big pen, I'd like to use for 8 gardens. So I'm going to be fundraising soon for them, but yeah, ideally if we can get 8 gardens in here, it'd be amazing. There'll be little rock ponds, just like shallow ponds, rock ponds, hedges and things like that in there, through bushes and whatnot. Hedgehogs' diet is invertebrates, so they dig up the ground. That's basically what they eat. They might eat small mammals like frogs and birds. It's not their preferred food, but they might do. I have seen information, I've never seen them do it, but yeah, there is information saying that they do that out there. They probably would, because it's a bit of meat for them to eat. And as far as bugs go, they love worms, snails, slugs, although they're bad for them, beetles, centipedes and things like that. So that's their favourite food. So if you want to help hedgehog and create a habitat for them, a good way of doing that is piling up piles of sticks, piles of logs, or anything that's able to rot down, that creates habitats for invertebrates, which in turn feeds the hedgehogs. So if you can do that, that's fantastic, and that will really help out the hedgehogs. Also, if you do have bonfires, just make sure that if you do make it up, light it the same day. If you have a bonfire existing over a long period of time, ideally the best thing to do is to physically move the whole bonfire a few meters away, then light it, and then just move it all over separately. So if there is a hedgehog inside the unlit bonfire, which there could be because it's a great place for them to live, you won't be burning a hedgehog, which is very bad. So yeah, that's you can in like if you really can't do anything else, you can cordon off the area, put some fencing around it to stop any hedgehogs going in there, or you can rustle the bonfire to hear if there's any noises, but it's not the best way of doing it. The best way is actually to build it and light it the same day, or physically move it. Just be careful with netting though, especially in allotments. The small plastic netting, because the hedgehogs have spines on them, they get caught up in that and they get entangled. So don't use that. And also, if you're using it in allotments, make sure that kind of netting's off the ground, at least a foot. And be careful with badminton netting, football netting, things like that. They get entangled in that as well. So, okay, let's have a look at the time. I think my battery might be on its way out. We're 2:30, so it's a little bit early. But I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to have a look at the comments. And I hope this was informative and you enjoyed it. Obviously, I'd imagine most people will be outside enjoying the sun, but please like and subscribe, and follow us on all the social networks. If you want, we have a newsletter that goes out. If you want to subscribe to that, it'd be fantastic. We're a charity. If you want to help us out, you can donate to us via our PayPal giving fund. There's also links in the description of this video that you can donate to us as well. So all donations go to helping the hedgehogs. So be fantastic. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Thanks very much for watching. Take care. I will also, I'm still here, I will also have a look at the questions now as well. So if you've got any questions, post them into chat, and I'm going to have a quick look at them, and I will go through them. It was very difficult for me to look at the phone and also answer questions, because I've got a few apps that I need to do things to change cameras and all the rest of it. So, but I'll have a look now. Thanks very much for watching.